Hi, this is Joe again with another review. For the sake of this video, I'm going to be discussing the 1960 horror movie classic, Village of the Damned. And of course, this movie was parodied in a way on an episode of The Simpsons. When there was a curfew and all the kids under 18 supposed to be in the house, locked up in the house on a curfew, and the kids all broke out and go to see this horror film. It's kind of a spoof of Village of the Damned. Because Village of the Damned is a movie that's based in a small town in England. And it's one particular day, out of the blue, all the people in this one particular village, all of a sudden they pass out. It's kind of like the TV show that came on 10 years ago called Flash Forward, where everybody in the world passes out for about 20 minutes or whatever it was. Kind of like the same thing here. Except instead of being 20 minutes, it's like a couple of hours. The whole town all of a sudden passes out. And the people, there's one guy was talking to on the phone to a friend, and he passes out. There's a woman cooking, and she passed out in the kitchen by the stove. Another one who was washing something, and the sink overflowed with water because she passed out, couldn't shut off the water. And all that, and there's a guy riding a bike, he passes out. And so they're trying to figure out what's going on in this town. And the cops come, and the local police show up, and he says, okay, let's see what happens. And send a cop in there with all the gear, figures there's a gas or something, or nerve gas, knocks people out. And so a guy walks in there, and all of a sudden he takes about 5 steps, about 5 feet, and he passes out. So they're wondering what the hell is going on. And then a few hours later, everybody wakes up and they're like, what happened? They think that none of them knew what happened. And all of a sudden, the whole town went to sleep. Then all of a sudden, all the women in this village end up being pregnant. Now they're trying to figure out how in the world they got pregnant. I mean, it's like, hello, you don't have to be too hard to figure out how they got pregnant. But nothing, they didn't have, like, say, sex with their husbands or boyfriends or whatever, then they still end up getting pregnant. And of course, 9 months later, they all gave birth all at the same time. And not only did it happen in this town, but it happened in like 2 or 3 other towns around the planet. A village in Russia, there was one in the United States, but there was one in South America. But in this movie, you only focus on this village in England. For this film. For Village of the Damned, it's just this one village in England. And it's really focused on there. And then eventually they figured out that these kids grew up at an unbelievably fast pace. I mean, not like a normal pace, like we do. Like within like 2 weeks, or like 3 years old within like 2 weeks or so, stuff like that. And then they realized that these kids had some kind of weird mystical powers. And it was really weird. It was really, it was really weird and really creepy to watch stuff. Scenes when the eyes go glow and stuff. Of course, in those days, you didn't have contact lenses. So you put in the kids' eyes, and they have eyes like that. Like they did with Bill Bixby when he did the Incredible Hulk show, when he put his white contact lenses in his eyes when he was turned into the Hulk. They didn't have contact lenses back then. So what they did was they did like a reverse, not really a reverse negative, but they used a negative on the film to make the eyes look like that. So it really wasn't, because he didn't have CGI to fall back on, and he didn't have contacts to fall back on to put in his kids' eyes. So the technique they used for that effect was really something to see. And then they realized, what are they going to do with these kids? Because the powers that these kids had, you don't know where the hell they came from. It looks like they came from another planet, transformed to populate the Earth. That was how they got there. I figured that they were like Satan's kids or devil's kids or something, but it was really for kids from another planet. And what they decided to do was, how in the world could we defeat these kids? Because they know what we're thinking. And they heard, and this village had heard, or the British government heard what Russia did, and they just dropped a nuclear bomb on them and blew it up. And they did the same thing with other towns or villages, where the case may be, to destroy these kids. Just do it without any advance notice, so that way these kids won't know what's going on. So the main character, I should mention that the main character of this movie originally played Mr. Freeze in the Batman television show. It was like one of 3 actors who played Mr. Freeze in the Batman television show later on in the 60s. That's what the main, I don't know the main actor's name, but he did play Mr. Freeze in Batman. So he figured out if he programs his mind a certain way, so that they put like a mental block in his mind, so the kids won't know what he's up to. So what he decides to do is he decides to go to a schoolhouse, because the kids wanted him to help them go to other locations, especially where the villagers, or the people in the village, in these particular villages where the other kids were at, when they destroy it, they want to go back there and repopulate, go to other areas, and to push their agenda, or to take over the planet. And they want this guy, the main character, to help them in that. And he says, okay, we'll give you to Friday, to decide. We'll give you like 2 days to decide, to think about it. And said, okay, give me a couple of days to think. And he says to him, give me a couple of days to think about it. Said, okay, so on Friday, when he was supposed to give these kids his decision, he decides major spoiler for those of you who haven't seen this movie, to blow up all the kids. I said, oh, how can he not know? Oh, think of a brick wall. And he goes, think of a brick wall. Think of a brick wall. And he puts the brick wall there, and all the kids could only see in his mind that he's thinking of a brick wall, and that's it. And so, because they couldn't read what he was thinking, all I could think of was the brick wall and nothing else, and that's what the kids read. So they couldn't read that he had this other idea in mind, was to blow the kids up. And that's what he did. He blew himself up along with the other kids, and that's how this movie ends. But this movie was extremely creepy. And it's the first time that I've seen this movie, and I just watched it just last night, and it was creepy. I mean, it was definitely creepy. And it's kind of like fun to watch a creepy movie like this. I mean, you can't write horror movies like this today, because I think there's been a couple remakes. There's one sequel that came out like Children of the Damned or something, and it came out like 4 years later. And I think it was another remake or 2 after that of this film. But the original, let's stick to the original, folks. I mean, if you want to see a good classic horror film that's creepy as all hell, this is it. But like I said, the movie is entertaining for what it is. It's creepy for what it is, and I enjoyed it. I actually enjoyed it. And I mean, because it's, first of all, it's a movie they've never seen before. And Version of Dan is creepy all the way through, and I like creepy movies. And there were horror movies that are creepy, and this one was definitely it. So that's my review of the movie Village of the Damned. Please click on the video. Please rate it. Please subscribe to my channel. Please forward this video on your Facebook pages. You can check out all my reviews on my YouTube channel at rallyc.com. It's over WDY. And then C.com is the homepage of the Rally Reviewer, Chris Lee Moore. And please check out all of his videos on his website. Thanks for watching. Catch you next time.